Hello friends, here I am with yet another aspect of art integrated learning which is very important. Now we will understand how art experience can be utilized as an assessment tool. The pedagogy in art integrated learning enables the child to evolve from one process to the next, traversing a path with innumerable creative applications. In this process, they observe, discuss, critically analyze, solve issues or problems, discard hesitation, listen to peers, become non-judgmental and above all participate joyfully. Each child has an inherent trait, we all know that, and that is the pre-knowledge which they come with. They pick it up from their family, from their society, the place that they belong to, their traditions that they inherit. In this process of learning, this aspect is also highlighted as the learner react spontaneously, with ease, without any hindrance, and loves to share individual perceptions. The demonstration of all such different characteristics are assessment points for the teacher and for us. Art integrated learning enables us to assess all three stages of assessment without much efforts, and these three stages are assessment as learning, which means the knowledge of the subject or the topic that a learner already has. He has different traits which he comes with. He has different interest, he takes initiatives, and all this is very clear in his or her performance. And these indicators are very important for the assessment, and teacher can plan the learning experience, the learning activities based on that. That is why it is called assessment as learning. In AIL approach, this is very naturally done. If you remember of the activity that you did in the last video, and after seeing that video, you will find that after going through the raindrop experience, children were able to talk a lot about their experiences. Now, when they talk about those experiences, this is the point where teacher is assessing them for the learning. And I know that you are able to understand how you will assess. You will see how much, because I am talking about the subject English, so they have to concentrate on the language, on the sentence making, on the narration skills. So, when child is narrating his or her experience and the kind of elaboration child is doing, you can assess their existing skill and plan your next experience, which would be assessment for learning. So, this was the first step, and for the next step, which is assessment for learning, you listen to my another colleague.
Art integrated learning is a process actually, and you have seen that how this process took off in the assessment as learning. Now, when we come to assessment for learning, which is the next level of assessment, because throughout the learning is also taking place as well as the assessment is also taking place. So, this is the in between stage where the teacher needs to know the progress of the learning of the students, and AIL helps the teacher with visible and observable performance indicators to find out where the child has reached, where the student has, whether the learning is actually taking place or not. Actually, here the teacher has to see whether the vocabulary has increased. Suppose we take the example of monsoon diary, which we have been doing as an activity for the experiential learning in AIL. It's basically we have to see the expression, whether the children knew the right way to express themselves, how they experience rain in any form. It can be through any art activity, whether they wrote something, whether it's the literary art or they drew something or they enacted something. So, whether the concept has been understood or not, that is what is there, which we see progress of the child. So, this is for progress, and the next level will be the assessment of learning.
The last one and the third in the process of assessment is assessment of learning. This is a stage which most of our teachers are doing regularly and they are familiar with it. It helps to assess the set competencies and learning outcomes. Art integrated learning provides teachers with multiple tools to evaluate different aspects of learning, which a teacher is doing with the children, which is possible through task based assessment than the oral or paper pencil pen basis. Art integrated learning has been found to be a non-threatening and a non-judgmental tool of assessing the teaching learning process at the elementary stage. As we have been doing the raindrop or the diary in the first two processes, now here is a summing up of all the process. The vocabulary, the framing of sentences, and the process may not be only reading or writing or giving a small test. It can be a skill based like theatre. It can be a child composing a song and singing. So, all that is into communication skills, the power of expression and the vocabulary and the exact framing of the language. This is what art integrated learning stands out for, and this is what art integrated learning aims at: spontaneous learning, non-threatening learning, and a very joyful aspect of teaching learning process.